Welcome to the Tuesday, November 9th Public Works Committee meeting. Now is time for roll call and determination of quorum.
Evans. Stroman. Here. Roberts.
Here.
Jones. Here. Armstrong.
Here.
A quorum is present.
Thank you. Now it's time for adoption of the agenda.
Move approval of the.
I have a motion to adopt by Councilman Jones, a second by Councilman Evans. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now it's time for general public comment. This is a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the committee on any issue not limited to items on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda, except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. I will open it. I don't see anybody and nobody jumping up and down, so I will close general public comment. We'll move on to consent items, items 1 through 20. I will open public comment. Again, I don't see anybody jumping up and down, so I'll close public comment. We will move on to consent items, items 1 through 20, and I will ask staff if they have any items that they want to comment on, any or all.
I can go through the items here as we've been doing in the past, like Dale does normally, if that's what you guys would like.
Absolutely. I think the committee would like that.
Where is it?
We're here. No, Dale's actually at a conference right now, and we got Stacy and Megan in the audience here for some of the other questions that might come up. So,
Go ahead.
I'll be addressing the engineering items 2 through 5, 8, 9, and 16 through 18. And Stacy can take the lead on items 6, 7, 10 through 14, and 19. So I'll start with 2 through 4 are just final change orders so for some of our capital improvement projects. Been filing those out, those are complete. 5 and 8 are just change orders, standard business for those. Item 9 is actually an advertisement or a bid advertisement for our well 12. We need to replace the motor on that. That's gone out. And so we're kind of trying to rush that one through. The other one. And then 16 is item for an exception to allow the more than a 40 unit rule for dwellings. Staff recommends approving this. 17 is a time extension for TUI Design Group. We approved this. We've been working with the consultant on this, and we feel we're very close to this. And 18 is just a variance to waive the requirement to install a sidewalk along one of the homes on Homestead Street. It's not necessarily a variance to not install it. It's more of not to install a certain section of it while we are doing the construction of Homestead Street. If they were to install some of their entire length here, we would have to rip some of ours out, some of it out for our project. So we're just letting them not install this section until afterwards. And then item 15 is the approving the new agreement between the City of Rapid City and the outdoor advertising for our bus passenger bench advertising. It's just a renewal of the advertising contract that we have. Stacy, if you want to take the rest of the items.
Sure. We've got a question on number 18 first, if you don't mind.
Thank you very much. So I'll direct my question to you, sir. Thank you. So two things I've learned from Dale Tech since I've been on the council is keep good streets good and always build sidewalks. So when I was reading about this one, that's what I gathered from it was that it's not going to be that there isn't ever going to be a sidewalk. It's just it would make sense to wait because there's still more work being done. Did I read that appropriately?
Yes, you did. It's
Okay.
just for us to not have to redo work and save the city and the homeowner any added expense of doing things twice.
So we're still staying with our need to build good sidewalks in the right places at the right time. It's just this isn't the right time
Right.
for that one.
Right.
Okay.
Right, because they put in a permit for a garage. With that permit comes requirements for sidewalk. and they don't want to have to wait. So they're going to install a sidewalk as far as they possibly can to our construction limits, and then after we're done with our project, they'll finish it out.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 6 is a standard change order for a contractor for Simon Contractors. It's a miscellaneous improvements project that is ongoing at the solid waste facility. Most of this change order is for unforeseen conditions that became apparent during construction. Item 7 is a change order for Zanstra Construction. Again, it's another project out at solid waste, and the majority of this change order is for unsuitable materials that were encountered during excavation and dirt work. Item number 10 is an amendment agreement with HDR. This amendment is for a different miscellaneous improvements project, not related to the previous 2 change orders. This is for design for a miscellaneous improvements project for the water division and the water rec division. And during the course of design, there was equipment identified that is in desperate need of replacement, so we've added in the design to get some additional equipment replaced at the water rec facility as well as the water facility. Item number 11 is and 12, I'll take those 2 together. This is the purchase of a new garbage truck. As most of you are aware, when you purchase a garbage truck off Sourcewell, you buy the chassis and the body separately, and then they combine them to make a garbage truck. So item 11 and 12 is for a single purchase of a new garbage truck. Lead time on that is considerable. We anticipate that it'll probably show up early in 2023, so it won't be here for a while. Item number 13 is the request to purchase a new wheel loader for solid waste. It's for the MRF facility at the solid waste facility. That project cost of $413 is the cost of the loader. However, staff at solid waste did a good job on grant applications earlier, so we anticipate 50% of that cost being reimbursed back to solid waste in the form of a grant. So actual cost will be a little over $200,000. Item 14 is a request to purchase a new Ford F-150 pickup for the water reclamation division, and it's replacing an existing vehicle that's due to be cycled out and replaced. The last item I had on my list is item 19, and a couple months ago we were in and talked to council about getting on the state water plan for the water reclamation facility self-plant improvements. A very large project. The existing wastewater treatment facility has reached the end of its design life, probably reached the end of its design life 5 or 6 years ago. So we're moving forward with that large project. The next step in this process is to conduct a public hearing to discuss the project and to go over what's called the facility plan for that project. And then after that, there will be a request for council to authorize staff to submit an application for funding. So this is just the first step, which is to conduct the public hearing. That would be on December 6th, prior to the council meeting, most likely. And this is a resolution or an act to actually, not a resolution, it's an act to authorize setting that hearing for that conversation with the public and the council. Item 15, Ben touched on that briefly. That's a renewal of an advertising agreement. Megan is in the audience if you do have questions regarding that. Thank you.
Yes. Councilman Jones has a question for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Stacy, if I may, item 13, when I was reading about it, I saw where it said that there was funding from the grant, which is exciting to see, and kudos to the staff that wrote it and made it happen. Can you tell us a little more about the grant? What kind of grant it is and how we're getting it and et cetera?
Certainly. It's a solid waste grant application that was filled out in 2019. And under that grant, there were 3 pieces of equipment, as well as some recyclable container cans that we had requested funding from. There was a windrow turner estimated at about $590,000, a baler for $537,000, the recyclable cans for $31,000, and then this wheel loader was the 4th item. We have purchased all of them except the wheel loader. So we have expended and received grant money for the windrow turner, baler, and the recyclable cans, and the wheel loader is the last of that grant application that was made in 2019.
Thank you. That's great to see. I know when I first came on board, Councilman Evans and I took a tour out at the landfill and saw the tremendous work that's being done out there and saw some of the equipment that has been Frankensteined along, just being held together by parts wherever you can find them, and some of them you can't find anymore. So it was a great education process for me. I'm very happy to see that we're doing some purchases now to support them out there. Great people out there, and they need good equipment to do their work. So thank you very much. I'll yield.
Thank you. Councilman Stroman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I have a question for Stacy, a question or two. When you put those, like the chassis and the body together on that dump truck, does that affect any applicable warranties or anything like that? And how do you do that? Do you do that yourself, or do you hire a company to do that?
Actually, it is performed by the company at their facility. It's not something that the city staff or city crews would do. It's done by the actual provider of the garbage truck. It's this, there's different options. You can buy a chassis and get a different body option, so they don't combine it. They let the owner select what combination you want, and then they assemble it. And that's part of the delivery schedule. That's why we're looking at early 2023 for delivery of that equipment.
And one other thing that, and this isn't really, I guess, right on point with the agenda, but Councilman Jones was talking about, putting some of the equipment together or helping it maintain its longevity. And I was just curious if you foresee some changes at the landfill with the marijuana industry. Is that going to affect the waste that you're able to take there, or is that going to be, is that organic waste, or is that, what's the effect on our landfill?
I'm probably not the best versed at
I'm sorry
that conversation. I know we are looking at it, and we're looking at whether or not it is considered, what type of product is considered when it comes to the landfill. And so there are some different things that they're looking at. I think it is yet to be decided as to actually how we're going to deal with that. I can get you some information if necessary on that, but I don't have it with me.
Well, I appreciate that, and I'm sorry if I kind of catch you off guard, I think, but I appreciate your thoughts on that. Thank you. I yield.
And it looks like we have nobody else in the dais for questions. Laura, you don't happen to have any questions, do you?
Correct, none, thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Biegler, would you like to speak on item 20?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 20 is a standard change order to reflect final quantities for this project. This was an expansion of the access roads in the Mount Calvary Cemetery and some additional irrigation for that area that's going to be platted and available for use. This change order reflects a decrease of almost $20,000.
Fantastic. Thank you. No questions on that item? If not, I will go back and I will ask for a motion for items. So we have a motion from Councilman Evans, a second from Councilman Stroman for items 1 through 20. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Move to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Great meeting today.
Thank you all.
Thanks.